Scott Patterson, come on up.
Yeah, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. Hi, guys. Hi. Good crowd, huh?
They're all yours.
They're all mine.
Hey everybody, can you hear me pretty good? All right, good. Let me get a little drink. Welcome to my panel, and we're doing a podcast. We're recording it right now. You are going to be on a special episode of I Am All In. I am Scott Patterson. This is I Am All In with iHeartRadio. All right. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this bad boy into a Q&A, and I wish I could take this. Can I move around with this microphone a little bit? Is there any way to take it out? No, there's no way. I am trapped. No, that's for you. That's for you to ask questions. But I could come out there, right? And I could go, but then you wouldn't be able to get up and stretch your legs. All right, let's start it out. Who wants to ask a question? Go. Hi.
So first, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here and just for being awesome. And we love Gilmore Girls. I would love to know, everybody here, of course, ships Luke and Lorelai, and there are some obstacles that pop up, between April and then Christopher. And for you as an actor working with Lauren Graham and becoming invested in this relationship, what is your thought process as you're sitting there reading this script and being like, I can't believe we're finally engaged and now everything is messing it up? How, do you like that things kind of went in a bit of an obscure manner, or are you angry that it wasn't just that perfect proposal marriage thing whereby we had to wait for the wedding in the revival?
I didn't like her proposing to me. I've said that. I've gone on the record saying that. But that's how the writers usually like to do things. They go big when you expect them to go small. They go small when you expect them to go big. It's sort of the soul of good writing. But I really thought that moment should have been Luke's. And that's just how I feel about it. Yeah. So, but it was, and I had to do that whole monologue. I'm sitting there doing this monologue, and you get these chunks of monologues. They're this long. It's all black ink, and you're like, God, you really want to nail them, and then you realize that you're off camera the entire time. You're not going to be seen. You're just going to be heard, and it's a close up of her face, and she's just sitting there will you marry me? It's like, why did I put all that? I could have been off camera just reading it off the sides, right? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that was the one moment but as far as the rest of your question, it was so long that I didn't get all of it. So.
Sorry.
So,
No, that's okay. Just a quick follow-up
Yes.
question. As we listen to the podcast and we hear other super fans being able to do the scene reenactments with you, how would one go about being able to do that?
You just email the show, and you make a comment, and you say, I want to do this scene, and this is why. And we don't do them every episode, and maybe we could do something today, which would be fun if you guys know a particular scene by heart, and you all do, because you're crazy, right? and we'll see if I can remember anything, okay? And that'll be fun. So do you have a particular scene that you wanna do right now? In this moment, while we're recording the podcast, the most powerful, most downloaded podcast in the history of podcasting? No pressure.
No, not in this very moment in time, but I could pull up the script and dialogue with you, or just I'll email the podcast so I can prepare mentally.
See, there you go. That's a professional response.
All right, thanks
Wonderful.
so much.
Thank you. Who's next? Come on up. There you go. Hi. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Jess.
Hi, Jess. What's your question?
You probably get this a lot, but I'm actually wondering what your favorite scene to do was, like in the moment. Like, what did you read a scene and you were like,
Yeah,
this
well,
is gonna be a good one?
I realized my favorite scene to do was while I was doing it, and it was when I smashed the hole in the wall with Jess,
Excellent. That's
because it was something to do. I didn't have to really say a lot. It was in action, and you don't get a lot of that on that show. We never did that. Like pushing him in the lake was great because it was action. And I didn't have this great need to push Milo in a lake, and but it was just fun. It's like, hey, we're gonna do a.
You're just gonna push someone in a lake.
Right, we're gonna do a stunt. We're doing a stunt on Gilmore Girls. Are you kidding me? And then the sledgehammer, because that was one take. There was a lot of pressure. You had to do it in one take, because in order to set that all up again, was going to be really complicated for the crew. It was going to take a long time. So it was like, Scott, it's late at night. Just nail it on the first one, so we don't have to do this again. So that was. And then when I saw, when I did the ADR, that you go and you have to loop the lines, right? Because there's noise, and I didn't see the episode, but I saw that in the looping stage. They had that punk rock music. What was that song? It was really badass. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. It's cool. Wow, that's cool. So that was my favorite.
Awesome. Thank you
Cool.
so much. Make
All
good
right.
choices.
Thank you. Who's next? Come on, run up there. Hi.
Besides Gilmore Girls, if one project came across your table that you would automatically say yes to, what would it be? Either film or TV.
Yeah. What do you mean? What kind of a project? What category?
Do you have like a movie that you would think about doing? Is there like a dream movie?
Hamlet. Even though I'm too old to play it now, yeah, I'd still try to do it. I'd probably pass away doing it. But that's the one project I would do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
One of my favorite parts of the show are.
First of all, what's your name?
My name is Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
One of my favorite parts of the show are Richard and Emily.
Yes.
So, what's your favorite Richard and Emily moment or scene?
I think when they're tender with each other, and because Richard is he's such a great husband, and he really gives her stage, right? Because that's her house and that's sort of her stuff, and he's there supporting it, and he lets her have her way and her run, and he's a very supportive guy. He's not this lurking, powerful, domineering guy. When it comes to his business, sure, but not in his relationship. I think he's the perfect husband. Yeah, I like him when he's tender. I can't remember specifically, but there was a couple of scenes that I've seen so far where he's really, really tender, and I like that. And he just says, "Oh, Emily," when Rory's going golfing with him, and she's, and in my opinion, Lorelai's making her intentionally late, right? It's like this passive aggressive thing, and Emily's kind of PO'd, and he's a little PO'd, but there's just a lot of tenderness between them. They're very careful with one another, and I like that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Hi, I'm Bożena.
Hi.
And I'm here with my teenage daughter.
Okay.
And we just discovered your show last year during the pandemic. She was not born when it started.
Oh.
So.
So how was life on Pluto?
Oh.
And was it a long journey?
Pandemic.
I'm just
we
kidding.
stayed home and did absolutely nothing.
Right.
So
No.
that was
Right.
what
Well, I'm glad. Listen. I'm just joking, but I'm glad you discovered it.
Yeah. So we discovered it. Had to binge watch it and whatever. It was great.
Right.
But my question is, what did we miss not seeing it when it originally aired, week to week, with that anticipation and year to year? What did we miss?
Well, you've joined legions of fans globally who are discovering it as well. So you are actually part of a new generation even though you have graduated high school, it appears. There's a lot of young people now discovering the show. They're old enough now to watch a show, and their parents and their friends are turning them onto the show. So a whole new layer of fandom is developing, and it just seems to be growing and growing as time goes by. So you're part of that. So you're all experiencing that for the first time now. So there is that anticipation. And yeah, it's not the same as 2000 when it came out and the whole thing, but it's a bigger audience now, and maybe the size of the newbies of which you and your daughter are now considered is as sizable as the original audience that discovered the show back in 2000. So welcome, yay.
Hi, Scott.
Hi.
I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex.
I've got 2 questions.
Yes, sir.
First, are you enjoying the con?
I'm sorry?
Are you enjoying the con?
Love. Terrificon, Mohegan Sun, Connecticut, yay. Trees, lakes. So you swing a golf club, you can take a nice divot here. In California, it's like clunk and it's dust, and your ball goes. Eh. So, but here you can take a nice divot. So yay for that. Great con.
I also wanted to know, do you think that the introduction of April was Gilmore Girls jumping the shark?
No. How dare you? I'm a defender of April. I love April. That's my daughter. And what was the girl? What was the actress who played her? Vanessa Morano. Yes, the brilliant girl. First of all, very precocious girl. Lovely to work with, came super prepared all the time, right? And she was just a delight to have on the set. And she unjustly just got whacked by the fans. And it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. And I think they made her especially obnoxious for the Netflix reboot. Talking about philosophy and metaphysics but that's her. She's a high IQ kid, very precocious. I never understood why they. I guess. Let me ask you guys in unison. Was it because she was going to slow down or block the Luke-Lorelai relationship in some shape or form? So that's why it was okay. I get it now. But. So there was just no chance. There was no chance in your hearts and your minds to accept April as my daughter, who I love. Chicken dinner for free chicken dinner for. Some of us loved her, yeah, and I loved her, and I love the character, and I love the depth that it brought to Luke, because not too many other characters were really developed in any real way other than Lorelai and Rory and her parents. Nobody else really got any development. And that was like, oh, here's some depth. Here's another layer. So I loved her. I thought it was great. But I get you now. I understand. I get it.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hi.
Just one question, I guess. What similarities do you share with the character? Or did you have other things that you picked up along the way that you became more similar?
So when I read the script, I thought, when you don't want anybody else to play the role, that's the role that's meant for you, okay? And that's how I felt when I read it. I knew nobody else could play that role better than me. I knew exactly how restrained to be. I knew that with all of those sort of light, bright, cheery characters, it needed an anchor, it needed a counterweight. That was my job. I let them know that was my job, that I understood what my job was. And, it worked out. But yeah, I mean, there's some similarities, but I'm really not like him. I'm very talkative, and I like to have a good time. And Rooker and I went out last night and just laid waste to the whole place. It was crazy. And I don't really do that anymore. But when Rooker's around, you're doing that. You're gonna do that, okay? And it was a blast. But yeah, there are some similarities. There are some.
So you would build something for like what you built for Lorelai? No. You wouldn't do that in real life. 'Cause maybe you wouldn't be as happy for her getting married to somebody else if that was in real life.
I was really sappy when I was a kid. I was a total romantic when I was a kid, yeah. So maybe when I was a kid I would have done that. But as I aged and wised up, no. I lost that.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi. What's your name?
Scott. I'm Joe.
Hi, Joe.
How you doing?
How you doing?
As huge Gilmore Girls fans from the original first season, and now thank you for doing the podcast. So now we can all get back into it. Who is someone you haven't had on the podcast yet that you want to have as a guest?
Sorry.
Oh.
What's this little guy's name over here? Huh? Jackson. Hey, Jackson. How you doing, buddy? You're on a podcast, pal. Huh? Jackson, do you have any questions? I know you have a lot of commentary, but do you have questions? All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
It's all good. Who? I know the podcast is still early, but who's someone you want to have on the podcast that we might not be able to see?
Noel Gallagher.
Okay then.
Do you know who Noel Gallagher is?
From Oasis.
Correct.
Yes, I do.
That's who I want on the show.
And also just.
Do you want to know why? Because he's the best songwriter of the last 30 years. And I love songwriters. I love them. And I particularly am fond of him because of what he came from, what he survived, and how he turned that experience growing up with a father like that into beauty. It chokes me up.
It's magic.
It chokes me. It's magic, and it chokes me up every time. So, and appropriate music. And I listen to his music, and to me, it's just a miracle. Everything he does is a miracle. That band he created, he wrote all those songs for. He wrote those lyrics for his brother. It was just perfection. And now his new stuff, perfect. And he's doing anything he wants, and he doesn't owe anybody anything, and he doesn't have, he suffered the way an artist is supposed to. He turned it into beauty. He didn't go to the rage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I respect that. That takes real courage. He's an example of artistic courage, and that's why I want to have him on the broadcast.
Awesome. Also, who's the daddy?
Podcast. Did I say broadcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Podcast. Who's the daddy?
Who's the daddy?
I'm gonna go along with the Ted Rooney line. Like, I don't give a damn who the daddy is. You know who I think it is, Joe? I think it might be the Wookiee from Star Wars. Thank you.
One night stand, and that was a problem. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just wondering so Lorelai goes a lot into her past, and we know a lot about her relationship with her parents. Luke hints at it a little bit. If you were to do a flashback episode of Luke when he was younger, what age range would you do it, and what scene would you want it to be?
Well, I'm 62, so I don't know how far back I could go. I mean, if you were going to do high school, that would be a little, I'd definitely be a senior, right? They did it for Tron. Yeah, and how many millions of dollars did they spend to pull off that one? That's a lot of money. Yeah. I don't know how far back you could go. I mean, I'd want to go back to high school. Sure. I wouldn't. When he was Butch Dane's track star, But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be fun. Why not? I could pull it off. Get in shape. Get on a diet. Stop hanging out with Michael Rooker, and then maybe I could do it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bernard.
Hi, Scott.
Hi.
My name is Amy.
Hi, Amy.
My question for you is, in the last season of the original broadcast...
Can you stop speaking to the mic?
Yes,
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you.
In the last season of the original series of Gilmore Girls,
Yeah.
Luke and Christopher got into a fight, since you were speaking about action scenes earlier, and Christopher and Luke just go at it and just have a knockdown, dragged out fight.
Yes.
With the Christmas Village and
Correct.
everything.
Correct.
How, and I know my answer for watching it, but how did it feel to actually act that out, this whole fight and butting heads between Christopher and Luke over their girl?
So one thing I'll tell you about the incredible David Sutcliffe is he's very strong. He's physically very strong, shockingly so. I can usually handle just about anybody, but he was a handful. And when you do those scenes, the adrenaline's really going because you want to get it right. So you start sweating a lot, even on the first take. And we just sort of rehearsed it and choreographed it and tried to do it right. But when they say action, you're really kind of going at it, and you're trying not to hit each other. Because I did a movie once in Canada, and I broke the stunt guy's nose, and because I came too close, because you're supposed to miss, because the camera angle is set up where you don't have to come close to the nose. So I did a hook, and I just tipped his nose, just tipped it, and it broke it. The nose is very easy to break here, I discovered. And he passed out, and it was just like, it was such a scene. It was like, God, just get him out of here. He's just bleeding all over the place. What's going on? Get him to the hospital. No, it was really wrenching. But that was tiring. That fight scene was. We were exhausted afterwards. I mean, we were drenched in sweat and we were exhausted because we really went at it. I mean, we didn't hit each other, obviously, but.
It definitely looked like it. So.
But again, it was great because it's action. We don't have to talk. Yay. We get to do a scene where we don't have to talk, really.
I do have one more quick question.
Yeah.
I believe after Gilmore Girls ended, you went on to do Saw. Was that a strategic move? Did you want to do something so different from Gilmore Girls that you were just getting into the Saw franchise and said, sure?
Spielberg wasn't returning my calls. Martin Scorsese didn't return my emails. So the options were limited, okay, for TV boy on the WB or CW on a small network, like nobody cares. You gotta understand that. If you're on a big NBC show and you're George Clooney and you're the heartthrob and it's a huge hit show with a huge audience, then you can have a movie career and work with the best people. If you're on Gilmore Girls and you're Luke Danes, it's a different equation. So it was a chance to take over the franchise of the #1 horror franchise in the world. So that's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
And I liked the director. I sat down with Darren and we went to lunch and we sat down. I liked the guy, and I thought he was smart and I thought he had some interesting ideas, and it was just it's just like fun. I'm doing Gilmore Girls and talking. Now I'm going to be on a set doing a hot film. It's going to be big premiere, the whole thing, and get to do some fun stuff on. And it's it's a genre. It's another fan base to tap into. So yeah, strategically it can't hurt, and it didn't. I don't think it alienated Gilmore fans because a job is a job, And if it did, too bad. I gotta work. I gotta pay bills, right? You've got to work. Christopher Walken, as brilliant an actor as that guy is, he takes everything that's offered to him. He doesn't care what it is. He doesn't judge a project. He doesn't judge a director. He doesn't judge the other actors. He just takes the work. and he does the best work he can, and he lets it go. He doesn't care. So sometimes he's working with Tarantino, sometimes he's working with, Blair and Blino. Who cares? He's working. He's keeping that instrument tuned, right?
Right.
So there you go.
Can I just ask one more really quick question?
Let's just spend the whole day. Go ahead.
Yes or no, if there was going to be another revival of the revival, would you still be interested in participating in it? For Gilmore Girls.
I'd want to see a script first. I'd want it to be right, because if I'd seen the script for these four, I don't know if I would have done it. No. No, I didn't lose you. You're wearing a mustache, and you said that. So, okay.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Hi. What's your name?
Jazzy.
Hi, Jazzy.
Hi. So I watch Gilmore Girls and rewatch it to kind of get my universe back in alignment. Is there any, yes, I know I'm not the only one. Is there any series that you do the same thing for?
I was obsessed with, I don't really watch series television, and I'll watch sports and I watch the financial channels if I'm looking at the TV at all. But there was one show that was on called Billions with Damian Lewis, and I think Malin Ackerman was in it before they got rid of her, and the show really suffered when she left, I thought. And Paul Giamatti, right? And it was Shakespearean. I mean, they were doing Shakespearean themes on television, and I thought, some people didn't like it, but I loved it. I loved Damian Lewis. I thought that character was one of the best characters I've seen on TV, and Giamatti too. And they were just butting heads. It was just fantastic. So that's my choice.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
Alex.
Hi, Alex.
So I listen to the podcast religiously, and I know at the end you do rapid fire
Yes.
with all the guests. I wanted to do it with you, even though one of the questions was already asked.
Oh my God.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Okay.
Tables are turned. You're very clever.
How do you take your coffee?
Black.
Can you smell snow?
Yes.
I wrote it down.
I can smell it right now.
Team Dean, Jess, or Logan?
Jess. Family. Jess.
Obviously.
Family.
Who's the daddy? You said that one already.
Don't care.
And who's your favorite character?
Luke Danes. Thank you very much.
And then
He brought me goodness.
I have another question, but
Yes.
it's about your coffee.
Yes.
So me and my husband love your Scotty P's coffee. Are you coming out with any new flavors?
Thank you. We have so many right now that I think we put a pause on coming out with new flavors. But we are getting into pods.
Oh, awesome.
And solubles and that kind of thing. So it's going to be super convenient for people.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
What's your name?
Silvana.
Hi.
And my question is kind of a follow-up. Besides yourself, who is your favorite?
Come closer to the.
Who is your favorite character on the show besides yourself, and why?
You gotta say, because you know what I'll just. Favorite character on the show. Okay, my Lorelai favorite because of all the heavy lifting she had to do and all of the emotional jujitsu that she had to engage in on an episode-to-episode basis. Just wonderful performances. Secondary characters, and I hate to sort of categorize them that way, but makes sense to you guys. Gosh, it's Sally Struthers, Kirk, it's Babette, Kirk, and Taylor for me. Yeah. I mean, just brilliant actors. Just brilliant stuff they did.
Yeah. And then for all of us who watch the podcast, we might know the answer, but who's your least favorite character?
Boy, you're putting me on the hot seat here.
Yes.
Logan. So many reasons, I won't bore you with them all. Because, first and foremost, because he referred to Rory as Ace. And when he said that the first time, my hand went back and I just wanted to go, bam! Her name is Rory, thank you very much. You cocky little... Hi. What's your name?
Allie.
Hi, Allie.
I'm glad you mentioned Taylor because my question is about him. The interactions on the show between Luke and Taylor are some of my favorite, and I just wanted to know if you had a favorite fight between the two characters.
Oh, God, there were so many. He was just epic to work with, by the way. Michael Winters is a lovely, lovely guy. He's nothing like his character, and he's just fun. You know, he's really fun to work with, and he's such a pro because he's super prepared, and he had tons of dialogue, and especially those town hall meetings, my God. Maybe the candy shop when...
So not when he had, not when he made it so that, you know, a car went through your diner? The candy shop was worse than that?
That was good too. I like that. I thought you're good. You're good. Yeah, all good.
That was it?
I don't remember any of that. But now that you mention a car, and then Michael DeLuise had to come in and help me rebuild the diner, right? Thank you. See, I'm an expert at this show.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Flock.
Hi.
Oh, wait, sorry. Sorry. So my question is, if you were to give Rory, wait, I said her name right, Rory, dating advice in today's world, what would it be?
Stay home. Read books. Don't go out of your house. Certainly don't date anybody that says, hey, have you seen Boogie Nights? You know what I mean? Or says to her mother, who is reading him the riot act, says, is it my turn yet? You know, that kind of thing. So now I like Dean because of what he did to Tristan, you know, defended Roy. So now I'm good with him. I'm taking it on an episode by episode basis. So I'm taking that journey that you all took in the beginning. It's the first time. That's why I'm doing the podcast. But I'm good with him now. We'll see how long that lasts.
Okay, thank you.
And dating advice is just get somebody that's like her. You know, precocious kid, reads a lot, wants to go to Harvard. Just keep it there, right?
Okay.
All right.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Cassie.
Hi, Cassie.
Okay, so first I want to say you have incredible style. We matched today, and just saying.
Thank you for noticing.
And then my question is, so with Stars Hollow being such like a stereotypical small town, is that something that you would like in real life, or are you more of city or country?
I grew up in a place like that. I don't know that it's stereotypical, but I think there are a lot of places like that, especially in the northeastern part of the United States. But there are places, you know, historical places, Revolutionary War, you know, Washington slept here, his soldiers slept over there, that kind of thing. But I grew up in a small town, and it was a lot like Stars Hollow. Actually, you know, I mean, we had a lot of eccentric characters. It was, but it was a small town mentality where everybody knew everybody's business, where you had to be accountable. And that's what I like about small towns. You know, the more you get into cities, and you know, people become more and more corrupted. And I don't really believe in cities. I believe in cities for a lot of reasons, but you know, you're going to have your issues there. And small towns is where I certainly want to raise my child. So, yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, what's your name?
Again. Nina.
Hi, Nina.
So you said before that if you had seen the script for the revival, you don't know if you would have done it. So
Here we go.
If-
Boomerang's
if
coming
you
back
would've-
around. It's going to whack me in the head.
if you would have
And look how happy Mustache Lady is. She said, thank you, thank you.
It wouldn't
Thank
have.
you.
It wouldn't have.
Thank you. We came very close. We came very close not to doing it. We were very close.
Come on. She's right. Facts.
I almost did.
So my question is, if you would have had any say in the script, what's something you would have liked to see Luke's character experience or do?
Well, I wouldn't have made him an idiot. You know, I mean, he didn't understand, in vitro fertilization. Are you kidding me? Surrogates? He didn't understand that. Sorry, just didn't buy it. I wouldn't have done that to Rory. I wouldn't have turned her into a total loser who was confused. I mean, this is a girl with so much promise. I'm sorry, I've been very supportive of this show. I love this show. But you can call a spade, and among other things. But and I think, I'm kind of on the fence about the wedding. I used to be really adamantly and passionately opposed to how they portrayed the wedding, because I thought it should be a big wedding, and that's what it should have been about. Agreed. Honor Ed Herman, sure. But you're doing it for 4 episodes and then turning it into a mother-daughter drama? I don't know.
So you didn't agree with the ending of the season?
The cliffhanger with who's the daddy?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I'm sorry. It's contrived. It's contrived. It's shockingly contrived, in my opinion.
No, I understand.
I mean, they're better than that, and they know they're better than that. And I think they need to deliver something that is of far higher quality. And I think I have the right to demand that, and you all have the right to demand that.
Definitely.
Because you've been loyal 21 years. Some of you are new to the show, but a lot of people have been, poured their heart and soul into this show, and then they wait 9 years for that? Nah.
True. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Hi, I'm Naya.
Hi.
Hi. So I was gonna ask, what was the funniest moment on set?
Funniest moment on set?
Yes.
The funniest moment on set. My God. It's probably Sean Gunn in a hot dog suit.
Oh, yeah.
There's just no question about that. When I walked onto the set, I was laughing so hard I went to my knees. It was just brilliant. And it was a hot day too, and he's sweating. And he's so good-natured that he's just kind of dealing with it,
Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was. I mean, to be there live and to see how colorful the hot dog was, and just to see the expression on his face was just. It was poetry. It was poetry.
Do you mind if I ask you another?
I don't mind.
Okay. Was there a scene you couldn't get through, like you kept laughing, like in the script?
Oh, many. Oh, that was, yeah. You see, if it's late at night and you've been there 14 hours and you just get the church laughter, there's something that happens between takes and you're just like, you just lose it. But once you lose it, you're done. So, some directors would try to fight that and say, come on, guys, come on. And we were just like, ugh, shut up, let us laugh. We deserve a laugh. But the ones that would sort of let it laugh out, we'd lose the day. We'd have to wrap and, we'll get it tomorrow, or we'll just have to stay there longer and longer and longer. But man, when we would fall out and laugh, it would be like half an hour. We couldn't stop. Because if you're so tired, you've all been in that situation before, you're so tired, you just cannot. It's like you begin to realize the absurdity of what you're doing, and you just stop believing it. Oh yeah. I mean, you just can't go on. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name?
Jess.
Hi, Jess.
So did you have a favorite interaction between Luke and Jess? Like any interaction throughout the show?
Just all of them.
Just all of them?
He's just such a great kid. You know, I know he's 44 years old now, but to me, he's always this 22 or 23-year-old kid who is just so nice and just a sweet guy, and so everything, every interaction.
Yeah. I have another question. So, were you ever appalled by how fast the script moved?
Appalled?
No, that's a big word. How fast Lorelai and Rory would talk? Or did you ever just whoa? Did you ever just take a second to?
No. I mean, it was just, that's what was required, and every direction we got was always the same one: faster, funnier. Yeah. Okay. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, I can't possibly do this faster. But they'd say, well, you have to do it faster. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi.
I'm Katie.
Hi, Katie.
So I don't have so much as a question, but as
Closer to the mic, please.
I don't really have a question, just a comment. So I've been watching Gilmore Girls probably since season 5 came out. I binge watched them before I knew what binge watching was, and then I've just watched them at least once a year. And it didn't really occur to me until I started listening to your podcast about how you feel about Max Medina. And I completely agree with you. And I think it's inappropriate and it was a little cringy. But I just want to tell you I agree.
But TV takes the license, right? I think it could have been handled with way more finesse.
Yes, different.
That storyline, but it was just so unusually bold and inappropriate that I found it very awkward.
But then I listened to the episode when the actor was starring in it and did the whole flesh out of his character, and I had a little more respect for it, but I still kind of felt like you do. But I haven't finished all of your episodes. I'm only on the Kiss and Tell one, so I'm interested to see what else you have to say about him.
Scott Cohen is a great jazz piano player, by the way. He's a very talented guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, great actor.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, man.
Hey, so my name's Logan.
Hi, Logan.
I'm Team Logan.
Boo.
Yeah, I know. So sorry. I'll take it. So there were a lot of emotions on the show. Was it really easy for you after a really emotional scene to just say, okay, now I'm back to Scott, or did you kind of have to decompress and let it flush out a little bit after a big Lorelai Luke?
It really depends on the scene, and it depends on if you have to keep doing the scene. Because if you do the master shot, which is the wide shot of everybody, right, and then you move in closer for coverage, that could be after lunch. So you really need to. I stay in character a lot. That's kind of how my process works. And then when I go home, I just let it go, which is why I never wanted to watch it, because last thing I want to do. But some people are different. They flush it out right away. They do it in between takes, and then they get it back. But I always found that to be very exhausting and not exacting. So if you get into that zone, you got to stay there.
Was Lauren like that, or do you know how Lauren did that at all?
She was similar. I mean, we're all theater trained, and that's kind of the discipline, get in character, stay there, and don't break it, yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Hi.
I'm Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
I am part of John Cabrera's watch group, Remarkist, and we watch pretty much every day and wanted to know if there was ever going to be a chance to get you to hang out with us. We do.
I think there's a chance.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And can you tell my husband 9 flavors of your coffee in the house is not excessive?
Huh?
I have 9 of your flavored coffees.
You only have 9?
Oh, tell him it's not a lot.
You deprived person. Are you the husband? Get out of here. That is appalling. That's appalling. No, you only have 9? There's 44 of them.
I only have 9.
You know the stash you keep under the doghouse for when the authorities come and you got to escape with the cash? Break into that a little bit, buy another 30 some odd flavors, please. You don't buy a motorcycle.
No, he just did.
Don't do it.
He did.
Okay, so do it. But still, you can still get her the flavors. Come on. All right. Did I just get used? Happens.
Hi, I'm Eve.
Hi.
I have 2 quick questions. One's a Gilmore Girls question, one's more personal. So my Gilmore Girls question is, you talked about the revival, and you said you weren't really happy where it went. If you were able to dictate a little bit about the script and how Luke kind of grew between the end of the original series and the revival, what would you have liked to have seen happen to the character?
Children. Children and planning for a big, fat wedding.
Was your a big wedding like with a band or a DJ or?
I'm sorry, with a what?
Band or DJ at the wedding.
Band or DJ?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be a band. For Luke. Okay.
And my other question is just fun, seeing we're at Mohegan Sun. Are you a gambler? And if so, what is your game of choice?
I'm a blackjack player. I'm a 5-card stud player. I'm a Texas Hold'em player. The other night, Michael Rooker and I were on a roll after dinner, and we sat down at the blackjack table, and I got blackjack 21. He got 18. We cleaned up. We got the heck out of there with our winnings. Because we're not fools, and we don't sit there and give it back.
But you went to dinner here, so in a way.
Well, where else are we going to go to dinner? I mean, there's nowhere else to go to dinner. They got some good places here. We tore Tao apart last night. I mean, it was just like nuts. It was so much fun. It's a fun resort. All right, guys. Do we have time for any more? Nah, we got to wrap it. All right. They're giving me the signal. So sorry, guys. Wait a minute. This little guy. We got to get one more.
Candace and Jackson, we just have a quick question.
Okay.
When reality or series end and everyone is like so in love with the couple, I want to know, are you still in contact with Lauren? Like, are you friends or you don't really talk much?
Hang on.
Because we like to think you guys talk all the time.
Lauren, hey. How are you? Look, I'm in the middle of a panel. Can I get back to you? Don't yell at me. I understand that, but I'm in the middle of... Okay. Yes, dear. Okay. Do I have to say that out loud? Okay. Love you, too. All right. No, we don't keep in touch. No. Not at all. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all so much for being a part of this and for being great fans. And you know me, I'm always going to advocate for you guys. I'm going to demand greatness from the show and who's responsible for putting the show together. And if I don't like what I see, you know I'm going to be honest about it. Might ruffle some feathers, but man, we got to demand the best. Because this is a show that is going to live on long after we're gone, and we have to preserve it, okay? So thank you all. Love to you all. And I am Scott Patterson, and this is the I Am All In podcast with iHeartRadio. We'll see you next time.
This is John Glover, and you are watching Fandom Spotlite. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Lionel Luther recommends it. Have some fun. Follow your fandom.